Good morning, all. Paul from CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday morning, May 22nd. We're looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and NQ. Boy, oh boy, I think the market and the bulls set the tone for some collapses yesterday, right? The bulls giving up everything in the afternoon. Last night, Edmonton Oilers blowing a 2-goal lead in the third, and the Knicks blowing a 14-point lead with under 3 minutes to go. Maybe that was a precursor to what was going to happen after the market fell apart late in the day. Look at these wide overnights. We've spent the entire overnight basically where? In M period. We are 22 wide in ES, right? We held a double distribution day down. Right now we've been in the lower distribution. We have not traded below yesterday's low yet. We're pretty close to it now. NQ did not have a double distribution. Remember, they just have the day's high and low. They have a 17 wide overnight point of control. ES is down. Remember, I called NQ balance. But if we take out yesterday's low, I will go down on NQ. The danger of more pullbacks, especially in ES early, is last week's low down at 58.0575. Now, we're still over $4 above it. But again, in these markets, $4 is nothing. If you are to take that out, either today or tomorrow, the weekly not only would go back to balance, but then you'd have the opportunity for an outside week down. We've had outside days up, down in NQ, ES. I mean, it's like a common occurrence. Remember, NQ had an outside day down yesterday. Now, we both had outside days up the other day, and they were absolute failures. We had inside days coming into yesterday. Initially, ES failed, then produced on the inside day down. NQ produced both on the inside day up and inside day down. That's emotional trading, all this. That is not long-term money, my friends. Long-term money doesn't change on a dime the way this market has been doing it. That is your competition 95% of the time. Keep that in mind. Righty not only is down on the daily, they held their gap from yesterday. And right now they're pushing lower, potentially looking for another gap. They also had a trend day down with a large set of single prints after being 8 for 8 wide. So again, I don't expect the bulls to defend yesterday's lows in ES because we're down on the daily. The real hump level would be 0575. If they're going to defend anything, it would be that, because that's your weekly low. And then inside of that, you have the large gaps. You have the weekly gap that gets filled at 57.41, and then the daily gap that gets filled at 57.10. You will not fill those gaps with either, unless you have either a large gap down or a very, very strong trend day down. We'll see how aggressive we get. We'll also see if we go anywhere near the 200-day moving average in SPY. We were $20 above it. By the end of yesterday, we were $10 above it. So that remains to be seen. So again, if this is the overnight low, yeah, you can front run it. But it remains to be seen. We still have 90 minutes. If the overnight low is below that, again, you could always front run it. However, please keep in mind, the overnight is long. Right now, it's 90-something% long. But again, context. How many of that is really, truly people getting long, and how many of that is short covering from late in the day? They're not getting much for their efforts, right? If you shorted L or M yesterday, you getting anything for your efforts? No. So a lot of that could be short covering. All right? Same with NQ. They're long in the overnight. So I'm not so sure I would front run an overnight low. That's number one. Number two, if we get an overnight low, well, then any push-up, especially against this wide overnight POC, to me would be worth a short. It should be a speed bump. Same in NQ if it ever got up there, if we get the overnight low. If we open inside of yesterday's range in ES, it'll be in value, in balance. Very, very poor risk reward. Okay? NQ could actually open in balance, but below value because their value low is much higher than the day's low. ES's is right near theirs. Again, join the room and watch the breakdown starting at 9:15 and then a live webinar for the entire day as we're trading. And then chart-wise, tomorrow night we'll recap all of these charts. Here's your daily. So again, I'm calling the S&P down. Okay, the 200-day moving average closed at 575.14. So we're what are we above it now? Less than $8 above it. So remains to be seen now. And then again, in NQ and triple Qs, I'm calling the daily balance because we had made a new high yesterday and then had the outside day down. So if we take out today's low, we would automatically go down. Good luck trading today. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel, and we'll recap at 4 p.m.